and thank you for joining me for this week's Oracle card reading for the week commencing the 5th of February. Can you believe it? We are into our second month of 2018 so far. I hope that you are all well and that last week went smoothly for you. We're going to pull 3 cards for this week to see what general energies are affecting us this week. So this is our general reading. But if you'd like to purchase your own personal reading, which will look more in depth into your own personal situation, then you can find all that information in the description box down below this video. So the first card that comes up for this week is Archangel Jophiel, and the card is Willpower. So we may be required this week to really exert our willpower. Perhaps there is a bad habit that we want to give up, whether this is something to do with our health or perhaps even our fitness. It could even be to do with our mindset. So maybe that we have to use some willpower at the beginning of this week to change our mindset about a particular situation in our lives that is going to benefit us greatly. There have been studies done on willpower, and many studies out there, but one study suggests that we are each born with a certain amount of willpower, and that as we go through life and face challenges, adversity, and sometimes even traumas, that willpower actually lessens over time because we are using it in order to just function sometimes, especially if we've had a particular challenging situation that's happened to us either in our past or at our present moment. So if we do find ourselves lacking a little bit of willpower at the beginning of the week, it's important not to put so much pressure on ourselves or be too critical of ourselves. It could be that we have other things going on in our lives that is taking away some of that willpower, if that makes sense. So we may want to have a word with Archangel Jophiel at the start of this week. You know, she's known as the angel of the full moon, but also of grace, and the name means like God, and you know, she really can help us to heal. So perhaps reaching out to Archangel Jophiel at the start of this week to help us with that willpower and help us to move forwards with that if we are struggling with it. As we move into the middle of the week, the angel that comes up is Raziel, and the card is Retreat. Archangel Raziel is the angel of manifestation, really, of magic, of making things happen, of really putting those thoughts into ideas, almost like the wizard type archetype, almost like as well the magician in tarot. But this card is asking us to retreat. So it's almost like we may have been putting all this effort into a project, a relationship, a goal of some kind, and now we may be feeling a little bit tired, a little bit run down. I know there have been sort of, you know, flus and colds going around this time of year. I apologize for being a little bit nasally myself today. So it's asking us to maybe just retreat a little bit. You know, if we feel like we're reaching burnout or just feeling a little bit overwhelmed, physically retreating into ourselves, just taking a duvet day or just some time off, going for a walk, catching up with our friends, stepping away from work, perhaps stepping away from our responsibilities if we can, even if we just have a hot soak in the bath for an hour or something like that. We have to give ourselves something back in the middle of this week so that we don't get too worn out. So Raziel's about manifestation, and we can still do that, but also just having a little bit of space for ourselves to just read a book, listen to some music could really help us greatly in the middle of this week. And as we move into the end of the week, the angel that comes up is Archangel Jophiel, and the card is Meditation. Archangel Jophiel is the angel of beauty, and really this is not only in a physical sense, or you know, we may admire the beauty of the world around us, the plants, the trees, the wonderful sunset, a glorious full moon. It's also about recognizing the beauty within ourselves and the beauty within situations. So it's almost like seeing the best in a situation, and Archangel Jophiel can really help us with that if we are struggling a little bit, if we do feel a little bit agitated, grumpy, a little bit low at the end of the week, if we just reach out to Archangel Jophiel, she can help us to see the beauty in our lives, and that can really help boost and lift our spirits. But the card is meditation. So again, a bit like retreat, we're asked to go more into ourselves, but this time it's really in a deep spiritual sense. Perhaps we listen to a guided meditation or do some sort of visualization that's really going to help us to just ground and connect. So if we're having trouble feeling motivated, then perhaps we do a guided meditation all about motivation. If we're feeling stressed, then we do a guided meditation to release that stress, and on it goes. If we feel ungrounded, if we feel tired, you know, there'll be something out there that we can do. If you're somebody that doesn't like to do guided meditations, or you may even find that music distracts you, just sitting in a quiet place and just focusing on breathing can really help us. Oftentimes when we breathe, it really helps us to ground and center ourselves, and it doesn't mean that we're not going to have thoughts. I think we've said this in videos before that sometimes when we begin to meditate, these thoughts come into our heads. You know, did I switch the downstairs light off, or what's my list of priorities tomorrow, or did I put that on the shopping list? These things can come up. It's important not to berate ourselves when they do. Just observe that thought and let it be, because the more we try and forget about it, the more it's going to be in our minds. Is that saying, what you resist persists? So instead of that, we just view it from an outside perspective, and then in time that thought will go and we'll find a real sense of clarity and peace. So looking back over this week, we have some willpower at the beginning of this week, really about exerting ourselves, or asserting ourselves, in some kind of way. In the middle of the week, we take a bit of time out just to retreat, just to go back into ourselves and heal. And at the end of the week, we're doing some spiritual healing through perhaps the guise of meditation. So I hope that you've enjoyed the reading this week. Thank you so much for joining me. If you would like to order your own personal reading, I will leave all the details in the description box down below this video. We have some new readings available for all different budgets, and I wanted to make sure that there was something that for everybody's budget. So I have included some new readings on my page on my website if you'd like to go and check them out. Until we speak again next week, I'm sending you so much love and happiness, and I hope that you have a beautiful week. Lots of love, Alyssa.